So this is part 2 of the video where I said I was going to test all the engines that I got on my trip in Illinois. So we'll just get started here. So here's the first engine. This is the Burlington GE engine, and I'm going to just run them in order from how I did in the last video. So this one, I said it needed a little bit of work when I got it, and I got it running pretty good, but it is a little bit stuttery when you start. As you can see, it kind of wobbles fairly badly when you run it at a slow speed, but then when you speed it up, it gets pretty smooth, and it actually runs pretty well, or pretty consistently. And the headlight works. And we've got full speed there. It's just mainly on lower speeds it has a little bit of trouble. So there's the first Bachmann engine. It's not going to run very well because of how it's got one of the gears that doesn't engage with the axle. As you can see, I've got it full speed there, and it should be going a little bit faster, but it's not because of the gear. So it's only got one wheel out of all four driving it. The motor is in good shape, but it's just the gear needs to be replaced. So here's the second Bachmann one, and this one runs better than the first one. They're not the fastest engines, but there's full speed. So it's going to take a while, but as you can see, it just started squealing there. That's what it did. Usually, I'm surprised it took that long to start squealing. So that one obviously needs some work with the motor, I think, or the gears need some oil, is what it sounds like. So we'll have to work on that one. So here's the first custom Athearn engine, and it's nice because whoever made this one really didn't do that bad a job making it. It's not the worst custom in the world. As you can see, it actually looks pretty good. They merged the pieces together very well, except for the whistle there on the top, which you can see is kind of wacky, but all it needs is some windows, but I can always get some of those. And it's got the coupler on the back, which is also nice. And we'll test that these actually run pretty good, the Athearn ones. And they have working headlights too, which is nice. Got full speed there. The Athearn motors are always pretty good, so I didn't have too much concern with getting these going. So there's the other Athearn one, and the one that I think looks a little more interesting. So this one's a very interesting one, but it's missing the back truck there, or not the truck cover is what it's missing. But this one runs just as well as the other one. Well, maybe. It hasn't run for a little while, so, or a couple days is what I consider a little while, so it'll go a little faster once it gets up to speed, I think, but I think the wheels are also dirty. So that one runs. It just needs a little bit of work. But they're really interesting looking, so I'm glad to have them. So the Athearn engine seems to be stuck at the moment. It's up there it goes, but it won't go around the corners for some reason. So I'm not going to really run that one until I can figure out what's wrong with it, so I'll get back to you on that one. So here's probably the best engine out of all of them, and if you just take a look at the level of detailing on this thing, as you can see, it's got opening doors on all of them. All of the doors open on this engine. That's a leveling of detail that I haven't seen on any of the engines that I've purchased. This one my brother purchased, but this one is a very nice engine. As you can see, it's got most of the handrails, but some of the ones on the roof are broken off. The ones right there, that's what they're supposed to look like. And then I've got the passenger cars coupled up to it, as you can see. And this one's a very interesting engine as it's got that weird light on the front, but it runs very smoothly. It's not the fastest engine, that's full speed right there, but it doesn't need to be. It's got a lot of power. And when it comes around, you'll be able to see that light on the front. That's a very interesting thing. As you can see it flashing there. It's a very interesting thing, but it's very nice to have. And I looked it up. They did have those on real engines at the time to help people in their cars see the train light. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but you can see it there. It's very nice. Lifelike did a good job on that one, I think. So here's the missing in action train, and this one runs very well. No issues with that one. And it was only $15, which is really nice. And it's in perfect shape, nothing missing or anything off of it. So there's a little hand car, and this one also runs pretty good. That's full speed. It's not the fastest thing, but it's very neat. I really like that one. So there's the Rock Island engine. We were pretty sure that this one had never run before we got it, so it runs very good. Really nice and smooth. A little bit loud, but it does a very good slow speed for an old Athearn. So here we've got the old IHC American steam engine, and this one I really like the style. This is probably my favorite one, my favorite looking engine that we got. But this one also runs pretty good. It needed a little bit of work when we got it, but it runs pretty smooth for what it is, I think. And then on higher speeds, it seems to be running a little bit rough right now. Usually it doesn't, so I'll have to take a look at it. But that's about got it going full speed now. It's not the fastest engine, but it doesn't need to be. I really like that one. And then we round off this with the two Canadian National AHM engines. I had these engines before for a few months, but they never had shells, so I never showed them. And then I just hooked a little new caboose up to it. And the engine runs really good, actually, for an old AHM. It's a little bit loud, too, but it was probably used quite a bit when it was with the previous owners.